Hey everyone, I am Robin the Copy Bitch. This is Stewie, my sidekick sloth. And today we are going to talk about how to structure a blog post for SEO. SEO being search engine optimization. I'm actually going to transition to myself on Zoom because I want to share my screen and walk you through it. And we're back. Okay, you are seeing my screen now. I am on SEMrush, which is my keyword research tool. And the topic we are talking about is how to structure a blog post for SEO. And for the purpose of this blog, my video here is I'm going to assume you know what SEO is, search engine optimization. If you're unsure, I highly, highly recommend you hop on over to HubSpot Academy and you can take a free SEO certification course. You probably could get it done in a weekend. I think it's just like 4 to 5 hours in terms of like watching videos and going through their quizzes and stuff like that. It is worthwhile because if you are a freelance copywriter, I can almost guarantee you are going to have to write optimized website copy and optimized blog posts, and you just need to know. It's a core essential skill of freelance copywriters today as I record this in 2023. So I'll get off my soapbox, but again, I'm assuming that you know what it is. Check out the description underneath the video because I'll include links to other helpful content if you need to brush up on SEO. Okay, but the purpose of this blog post is to talk about how to structure. The purpose of this video is how to structure a blog post for SEO, for search engine optimization. So I thought the best way to go about that is to use one of mine as an example. So when you are blogging for a client, first of all, you have to make sure you understand what it is that your client does, the products and services that they're selling. You need to really understand their audience. Who are they? Why would they want to buy your client's particular product or service? What are the things that they're struggling with? What are the questions they're having? What are their pain points, as we say in marketing jargon? And here's the thing, the beauty of blogging, the whole purpose of going through this exercise of asking, these questions about the audience is, and this is the core of the inbound marketing philosophy, is your goal is to capture the attention of people who are already on the market for what your client is selling. So 30, 40 years ago, the way marketing worked is you used to blast everybody with the same message. And the majority of those people weren't necessarily on the market for whatever it is the client was trying to sell. With inbound marketing, the focus is really to try to capture those people who are already searching for the particular product or service that your client is selling and draw them in to the website or a piece of content and get them engaged and excited, and then to take the next step with the client. That's basically how it works. And blogging is a fundamental way to do that because with each blog post you write, you can optimize it around a keyword phrase, and often a longer keyword phrase than you would on a regular website page, like a service page or a home page. So that's the beauty of blogging. So when you're coming up with an editorial calendar, you're coming up with topics for blog posts for your clients, you're going to start by thinking about, what are the questions that the audience is asking? What are the problems that they're having? How can we help them? You come up with a topic, then you go to the keyword research tool to make sure you can come up with a keyword phrase that people are actually searching on that you could actually possibly rank well for over time in Google. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but that's kind of like that's how you start the process. You're thinking about the audience, you're thinking about the things they're interested in, and you're coming up with a topic that's going to satisfy the questions that they have, and then you're going to do the keyword research. So when I do my own blog and my own YouTube channel, I think of myself as a client. My goals, I'm trying to get subscribers to my blog, and I'm trying to get subscribers to YouTube. And if you're here watching this video, please consider subscribing if you are a budding copywriter. So those are my goals. So I'm talking to new copywriters. I'm talking to copywriters who maybe have been around for a few years and they need help in certain areas. I'm talking to writers who maybe have been around for a while and they need help in a certain area. And I'm using my 20 plus years of experience to parlay helpful messages and information to help these folks out. Someone like you, probably, if you are a new copywriter. So that's my target audience. So when thinking about new copywriters, I think back to when I was just a baby copywriter back in 2002. And, one of the questions I had was like, how to invoice, like, how do you invoice clients? How do you do all the billing and the banking and all of that? So knowing that was one of the pain points that new copywriters have, and not just copywriters, but any freelancer, I came to SEMrush, I did some research, and I landed on this particular keyword phrase, how to invoice as a freelancer. And the intent is informational. Someone obviously has a very specific question. They need some help here. Has 210 searches a month. And the keyword difficulty is considered easy, meaning that if I write a quality blog post about this topic, I can rank on the first page of Google or rank well in Google over time. So I'm going to show you this in action. Let's go to Google. We're going to Google this phrase, how to invoice as a freelancer. And you're going to see that I've already done this. I've actually recorded this video a couple times, but here we are. So how to invoice as a freelancer. These are the paid listings. So someone is bidding on some version of this phrase to get up here because they're selling some sort of like, QuickBooks products to do your invoicing. So let's scroll down. Let's scroll down a little bit. And how to write an invoice for freelance work is Upwork. That makes sense. They're a organization that deals with freelancers. FreshBooks. It's going to be hard for me to compete with either one of these because they are just so huge. But look, there I am. E.T. Robbins is me. How to invoice as a freelancer, tips for beginners. So that's how SEO works. Like, I thought about my target audience. What are they searching on? Went to SEMrush, found a phrase, wrote a blog post around it that Google is thinking is good. And I'd like to think is good too. It's helpful. And here I am ranking on the first page of Google. And I know this particular page is bringing in traffic to my site. So we're going to click on it. Now, I run ads on my blog posts. So we're not going to actually, I'm going to go to the back end so that we don't have to get bothered by the ads, but that's the live post. But let's go over here and let's talk about the structure. So I use WordPress, and I have an SEO plugin for WordPress. So that's a nice thing about a lot of this writing is you have all these tools that can help you do SEO well, even if you struggle with it. But you have to understand the basic tenets of how to structure a blog post for SEO. So it's not rocket science. And once you get, once you know the basics, you're just going to continue doing that for all the blog posts you write. That's the beauty of blogging. And you just need to bring the talent and the compelling prose and make the content unique and high quality. And here's the thing about blog posts. Like, there are lots of copywriters out there who are writing blog posts about this. I shouldn't say lots, there are some. And because anyone can do this keyword phrase research and write a blog post about this. The key that you have to do with the blogging you're doing for clients is make it content that people can't find anywhere else. And that can be challenging. The way you do that is by talking to subject matter experts within your client's company, talking to their customers, getting those little nuggets and those little stories that are completely unique to the company that you can't find on a competitor's website. That's how you really kind of bring a piece of copy alive. And it's one of the reasons why Chat GPT and like this AI, the AI writers that are around can't do that, because they don't know the client company. They're not talking to the client's clients or the subject matter experts. That's why you still need a writer to do that stuff. Chat GPT puts out generic stuff. Like that's where it is right now. It might not always be this way, but that's where it is. That's why I'm not too worried about it at this point. But I'm getting off topic here. So let's go to this blog post. So again, my keyword phrase focus is how to invoice as a freelancer. And you're going to see that this is the blog title. For me, it fit in nicely. Like, this is a blog title. I didn't have to do anything more to it. I could have added on maybe another word or two if I wanted to get cutesy about it, how to invoice as a freelancer, tips for beginning copywriter, something like that. I didn't. This worked for me. I'm an easy client for myself sometimes. it's very clear as to what this blog post is about. It's clear to anyone looking at it. It's clear to Google. And that's my goal here. And what your goal needs to be when you're doing SEO or a search engine optimized blog post. And then this particular blog post is pretty straightforward. You're going to see that I use the phrase in the subheadlines for each section, basically, just to kind of, keep that keyword phrase going. Now, I might have gone a little bit heavy-handed here because this phrase is repeated a bunch of times. You don't need to worry about repeating a phrase a certain number of times. And if someone tells you you do, they're wrong. Keyword density, like there used to be this thing called keyword density. You had to use, repeat the phrase a certain number of times for every so many 100 words. And Google's smart. Like if you are writing quality content and you're using a keyword phrase naturally and maybe some synonyms for that phrase, and again, quality content, that's what's going to do it. You need a well-formatted blog post, meaning you have subheadlines, you have bulleted lists, you have numbered lists, you have bold, you have italics. Like you're telling that sort of formatting helps Google follow too. It's very skimmable for readers. It's going to look good on a mobile device like a smartphone. So something to keep in mind, like even if you have a paragraph that looks short here, relatively speaking, that's probably going to actually look kind of long on a smartphone. So I probably should actually shorten that a little bit, but you want to have short paragraphs, short sentences, and use the keyword phrase naturally. For me, I felt the keyword phrase, I was using it naturally, like it was just the heading for each section. So I didn't feel like that was being spammy about it. How to invoice as a freelancer, when should you invoice, how to invoice as a freelancer, what should your invoice look like? Maybe a little repetitive, but I thought that it was okay. And like I said, I'm showing up on the first page of Google. So Google is thinking that this is quality content. The fact that it's over, it's over 1,000 words, it's 1,100 words plus. So it's a meaty post. It's not just me trying to spam. I'm giving, helpful content. I have a video. And here's the thing, I sweeten the deal because I have a link to a PDF, and a copywriter invoice template. So I actually created, let's see if this will work here, a template that people are free to download. So they can use it. And this is, for people who are looking for an invoice and how to do it. There you go. So I feel like that's a nice little piece for this. So I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video that there's a plugin on my WordPress site with SEO. So let's look at how that works, because it makes it really easy. It's kind of like a little assistant to be like, hey, you have to improve this here, or, if you want a nice SEO score. And you can see my SEO score for this particular blog post is 97. Okay. So I try to always aim for something over 90 when I'm doing my blog posts. I don't always get it that high, but anything over 90, I'm kind of happy with. So my focus keyword phrase is how to invoice as a freelancer. And the minute I plugged that in, it gave me a score of 82 out of 100, which I'm okay with, because the thing that they're questioning, actually, this is actually telling me that I'm using the keyword phrase a little bit too much in my H2s and my H3s. So I probably should, pull it back a little bit on the subheading, although it doesn't seem to be hurting me. This is, I feel, a little bit unhelpful. Focus keyword phrase length. Like, I don't think this is a long tail, what's known as a long tail keyword phrase, or, it has 5 words in it, or actually 6, and that's perfectly okay. So I just ignore that. Sometimes these keyword tools, I think, put in things so that there are things you think you have to fix, so your score can't be perfect. But, something to pay attention to. If I go down here, it gives me the basic SEO, and that one error is the keyword length, but everything else is telling me looks good. So when you're writing a blog post, if you're, in WordPress and you have the plugin, this can help you look at things. The title is looking all good. And then the readability, it's telling me the subheading distribution is saying that I have 300 words not separated by any subheading. So again, it's also thinking from a mobile perspective. So these little tools can help. Now, when you're doing copy for a client, you might not be writing within their WordPress, within their blogging client, or product that they use. You might be. You could very well be in their back end writing uploading the blog posts in WordPress or HubSpot, more than likely, you're probably going to be writing it in Word and delivering it that way, and there'll be someone else who'll be doing the loading. But there's nothing stopping you from having your own, website, and maybe you just run your copy in your own WordPress backend. You're not going to publish it, but you put it there just to kind of double check the SEO if you have an SEO plugin. So that could be one way to do it. And the thing is too, you're just going to get very comfortable. Like, I don't even need to look at this stuff. I mean, I do, but I know what I need to do. And it's just a matter of doing it. And then I just, pay attention to my score. As long as I'm happy with it, like, I can show you what the scores are in all the posts. And you can see 95. See, there's an 89. This one's scheduled too, so I might need to look at that. 95, 95, 83. Well, this one is in process draft. That's why it's so low. I haven't even optimized it yet. That's just out of the gate, but you can see. And they're working for me. I mean, this is what brings in traffic for my blog. And it brings in paying clients too. Like right now, you're seeing the stuff that I'm focusing on for copywriters, but I have stuff that I focus on that brings in paying clients. And this is how you do it. This is how it works. So it's not, like I said, it's not rocket science, but once you get it down, the thing you want to pay attention to again is keyword rich title. And you do that by coming up with your topic, thinking about the audience, and you do the research in your keyword tool like SEMrush or Google's keyword planner. You're going to want to have that keyword phrase in the blog title. You're going to want to ideally have it in an H1 heading, subheads. Use it naturally throughout the content, but also use synonyms. If there's a synonym that works for the phrase that you're focusing on, the format of the blog should matter. It does matter. It's not that it should matter. It definitely matters. You want to make sure you have bulleted lists, numbered lists. You have used bold. You make it very readable. Don't have a ton of copy. Like, don't go on for 1,000 words without any breaks in the copy in terms of subheadings or bold or things like that. You just can't do that. Google's not going to like it, and your readers aren't going to like it either. Always write for readers first, or search engines second. But there you have it. It's like I said, it's not rocket science. Make sure you check the description underneath this video, because I'm going to link to a blog post where I'll outline all of these details. So I know some people like to, look at an actual blog post and get it that way, but then it always helps to have it written out, and then you can double check yourself that way. But hopefully you found this video helpful, and I'm going to throw it back to Stewie and myself. So there you have it. Hopefully you found this video helpful on how to structure a blog post for SEO. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and if you like the content I've been putting out on this channel and you're a new copywriter, think of subscribing. It helps us out. I am Robin the Copy Bitch. This is Stewie, my sidekick sloth, and we'll see you next time. Bye.